Assalamu alaikum all. Today I'm going to be talking about how to combine finances after marriage as Muslims. Now, before I got married, we never really spoke about money that much. Yeah, and I wish we had. And since then, I've kind of learned a lot about money and, personal finance and stuff like that. And then me and my wife, we sort of started talking about it a lot more. And, we've combined our finances, and I'll explain to you why it's one of the best things we have done and why I highly recommend it. So yeah, just want to say welcome to Simple Muslim Money, which is all about simple halal investing and personal finance for Muslims. So number one is that the data shows that you will be richer if you combine your finances together. And this is something I heard Dave Ramsey talk about. He's got a lot of research and does a lot of sort of personal finance resources and materials and coaching and all that sort of stuff. So, I mean, just by that reason alone, it makes sense to put your finances together. And me and my wife, we started sort of talking more about money. And when my wife was younger, she used to go shopping a lot. She didn't really have that much in savings. She used to get like a belt bag, and she used to make sure those were like in the matching color, which is like a bit crazy. And and then she was working full time as well, and her savings weren't particularly good. And this was like before we got married. And then now I kind of got married, and then I kind of got more into sort of money and personal finance. And then we sort of started talking about it. And, over the course of like many years now, we've kind of definitely built up a good understanding of money and like what our sort of shared sort of vision is about that and our future. And we've kind of, realized that, if we want to have a more kind of wealthier future, then we need to work together. And inshallah, that will happen. So, yeah. And one of the best ways to talk about money is with a budget. So we've got like a budget that we've been kind of using for a little while now, and it's very simple. It's just on Google Sheets, and we can exactly see where our money is coming and going. And like, for example, our budget for groceries is £600 a month, and before we used to thought we didn't spend that much on groceries. And then when you actually see in the actual like daylight right in front of you, like, oh my gosh, that's how much I actually spend. And there was a month, I think, like in December, just because we had like our oldest kid, like it was his birthday, or actually my youngest kid, it was his birthday. Need to get that the right way around. And we had everyone over, so we had like a much larger sort of grocery budget that month. It was almost like £1,000. So yeah, a bit like it kind of just makes us aware of where our money is going, and like just kind of controlling things and tightening things when we sort of need to. We kind of generally sort of check it once every month, and it's really nice when you've got a few months and you can kind of compare it. And I definitely plan to do a video around my budget, actually show you what numbers that I use and how I sort of track it. And kind of also showed that if we kind of save our money and and use compounding in our favor, we can have a lot of money sort of saved up. And just by having cash in a bank account, it's just kind of losing value. And yeah, that was really good. And I kind of explained to her about compounding and how that works, and getting 7% a year and then reinvesting, and then how it kind of grows into this massive snowball. And we kind of need to use that power of compounding. And I think that was very powerful. And she kind of realized, oh, well, hang on, there's so much we can do with our money. And another good thing we did was just having a joint account for everyday spending. So we have that with Monzo. We just put money in there, and we kind of know how much we have to sort of spend for the month. And then if we're going over or under, like, Monzo kind of has it all nicely categorized, and then kind of just shows that to us. And that just kind of really helps. It's really having that visibility over where your money's going makes a massive difference. And you just feel like you're just in that much more control. And the more money you have, and especially as people get higher up in their careers, they get older, it's even more important to kind of manage our money. I remember Dave Ramsey kind of talking about that as well, just saying the more money you have, the more you need to manage it, the more work you need just to kind of manage that money. So, and I've got friends that are kind of worried about sharing finances, like with their wives, and they're like, look, well, my wife's not that good with money, she goes shopping all the time, and that's normal. And I think most of that is just by not developing those connections and start talking about money. What do you want to do about money? Where do you want that money to go, and things like that. And once you start talking and get that kind of like communication going, I think pretty much everyone can get much better with money, and you'll be like feeling much better about that. And another question that comes up is like money arguments, and definitely like me and my wife have had disagreements about things. And there's a point where I was trying to save too much money and trying to cut down on some of the stuff we were doing, and my wife was saying, look, no, that's not good, we need to kind of like loosen it a bit here and there. We've got the kids and stuff like that. So and also my wife was, we were looking into cars, and my wife wanted like a particular car. She likes driving, and she likes her specific sort of cars as well. And she wanted like BMW or Merc or something like that for our next car. But managed to kind of switch her around, and like we got a Lexus instead, and alhamdulillah, that's been like really good and really kind of working well. And she's kind of really convinced now that that's a good car to have. And in terms of like the reliability and things like that. So and definitely the more we start talking about money, the more kind of like if we do have any sort of disagreement, we could come to some sort of resolution or think about stuff. And sometimes it is just, that's something I really want to do. It's really important to me. And she's like, okay, then go ahead, just go and do it. And what a really good thing about this is also having shared goals. So, we like going on holiday together, and alhamdulillah, we managed to go on Hajj together. And something we'd definitely like to do in the future with the whole family, with the kids, is like to go on Umrah. And, that's going to cost like a few £1,000. And we want to do it when the kids are a little bit older as well. And by putting our money together, we can kind of plan for these things much better in a more kind of feasible sort of way. And another thing is my wife wants to kind of decorate the house, do some DIY and things like that, get some builders in. And, we've done some of that, but there's still a lot more that, she'd like to do. It's really important to her. And I'm like, okay, that's something we can work towards. We need to put our money together. And also things like emergency fund. She's definitely on board with that. She understands the importance of that, especially when I lost my job once. And also, like, one of our things is to go on like a really long holiday together as a family, like, to Turkey, Dubai, Malaysia, these sort of places that we absolutely love. So, that's just one of the sort of things we're thinking about. And also another thing is like we've kind of changed our mindset into sort of like we consider everything is our money, and everything I have, she has access to, and sort of vice versa. So it's, even though technically I'm the one that's kind of earning most of the money because I'm working full time and my wife's working part time, but it doesn't matter. She does so much in the house. She looks after the kids. She does all of this sort of stuff. So we've kind of got to the point where it doesn't matter who makes the money. It's our money. It belongs to everyone, and we kind of all have a say in what happens with that money. And and looking after the kids and stuff like that is like, it's a lot of work. So, I'm so thankful. She does so much around the house. I'm very blessed with that. And and I'm also like very open with all the money I have. She's very open with the money that she has, and we kind of work together to try and figure out what the best way is to kind of manage that money. And another thing is like saving for the kids together. So like, we're thinking about the kids and thinking about, when they're older as well, we want to make sure we can try and sort of save some money for them as well, get them into good habits. Also, one of my children is like autistic as well, so he's got special needs. So we want to we're really kind of wary of that, and we want to kind of save some good money. So like, if he does need any help or anything like that, then, we've got some savings saved up for him. And, we've put our money together, and we've got ISAs for the kids as well. So we're investing money regularly for them every month, ever since a young age. And and also they have lots of clubs and things that they go to. You got to buy clothes and toys and stuff like that. Like my oldest child he does boxing, he goes football, he's got like Islamic studies as well. And sometimes we go out, as a family to some sort of event or something like that. We'll go to the farm or we'll go to a theme park. So, working together just makes such a big difference. And another thing that we are definitely like thinking about is like an Islamic will as well, and something I'm kind of looking into. And I really need to get onto that as well. So that's something I'll definitely want to kind of do a video about in the future on this channel as well. And another thing that comes up is, what if my spouse has serious struggles with money? And, and in that case, we're talking about people that maybe, I don't know, they've got some sort of addiction or something like that. I've heard about people with gambling addictions and things like that, or people in domestic sort of violence and really, really sad situations. And I'm not talking about that at all, but I think like in most cases with people who have got a good marriage, it's definitely something that can be done as well. And it is simple as if you want to be rich in the future, then combine your finances. The data is clear. And the first step is just to start talking about money. And I guess the other question that comes up is prenups as well. So this is where you sign some sort of contract so that if you were to split up, what happens to your money and stuff like that. And I think Dave Ramsey was talking about this, and like people that really kind of get into that category when we're talking about really huge sums of money involved, and it's really unskewed. Like some person might have, hundreds of thousands, someone that has nothing, or someone might have millions potentially and something like that. And maybe in that sort of circumstances, that's something that, does need to be sort of spoken about. But I think in most cases, it's fine to just kind of combine our finances together and just kind of, go forwards and work together and, and make the most of the finances that you have. Okay, that's it for now. Assalamu alaikum.